2000 on a W, Lotus Elise, Series 1, Type 49. So your Type 49 was a limited run of 92 cars based on your Series 1 Elise, the 1.8 car. Reason it's called Type 49 is obviously homage to the Grand Prix car, which was red, gold and white. Hence all the Type 49s are red, gold and white, with the gold wheels to match that sort of that period race car. Becoming quite desirable, these Series 1s, especially the limited edition cars, just as cars get more complicated, Elises get heavier and all that sort of stuff. Everyone sort of harks back to the originals, don't they? Let's start by having a look at the bodywork on this one. Obviously fiberglass, so no rust to worry about. Nice long-term ownership this car as well. I think it's about 18, 19 years he's on this car. We'll start on the driver's side. If we look down this side, you can see it is nice and straight all the way down there. All your panel gaps are nice and even. A couple of very tiny little stone chips. There's probably 4 there if we're being very picky. On the front where it flares out, exactly where you'd expect them to be. The arch itself is clean all the way around. There's no sort of gravel rash or anything like that. Nice and tidy on the front wheel. If we're being picky, there's a little bit of paint peel in the corners where you'd get your brake dust build-up, so potentially they might want to refurb. Nice thing is it's about 180, 200 quid for a set now. I believe it's on matching Pirellis all around, but we'll double check as we go. So a nice Pirelli on the front there, P6000, loads of tread left. Clean and tidy on that front wing, and generally there's no sort of marks or anything to note. All your correct stickers are in the right places. You've got the gold stripe in between your white and your red. It's a really nice colour combo. Nice and clean along the bottom of that sill. We'll pop the camera underneath. It's not a whole lot to see on the Elise because it's effectively a flat floor, but certainly nothing nasty evident or hanging down or anything like that. I believe the service records are very good on this car. We'll detail all that in the description. Like I say, nice long-term ownership. You give us all the signs of a proper enthusiast that looks after his cars as well. It does have PPF here. Now, to me, this looks like the original PPF because it has sun faded. The UV's got it. It's gone yellow. It's done its job. It's protected against the stone chips. You can buy replacement ones of these. You warm them up, heat them up, replace them nice and easy. Very small mark on the sticker there just below the vent. We've got a tiny little scratch just there, again below the vent. PPF around the vent is not so bad. That hasn't yellowed at all. That looks all right. But again, it's in a nice sort of shadowy area. Around the door, the handle, that's all good. There's no scratches or anything in that. And along the window edge, again, nice and tidy. As is around the front screen. Around the filler cap, again, you get these sort of nice stainless steel filler caps, but there's no sign of any petrol that's been left on there, or it's missed with a nozzle or scratched or anything like that. Same goes for around where the roof fixes. We've got one light scratch there, but generally pretty good. And again, in that rear arch, nice and clean all the way around. Another good wheel and Pirelli tyre. If you look up that side, you can see it is nice and straight all the way up. Coming around on the back, your lights are clear and bright. The exhaust sits nice and central. As you can tell by the sticker and the badge, it's been looked after by a specialist here in Newcastle for some time. Nice and clean along the rear end of the bumper, or the lower half of the bumper there. All good coming around. There's a very light scuff on the sticker in the white section here on the corner. Looks like it's sort of brushed against something at some point, but the plastic arch protector, that's all good. And again, nice and clean in that arch. Same story with the PPF on this side. It's yellowed up, and we've got a couple of stone chips just above it. So really, if you were going to replace it for me, you'd come a bit further up. Modern ones come all the way up to here. Again, nice and clean tyre and wheel. Another Pirelli one as well, so 3 out of 4 so far. Nice and tidy along the top here. There's no sign of any scratch in there. Little light scratch there. It seems to be where you have to sort of turn it slightly to get the roof off, which we'll show you in a second. Just caught it ever so slightly. Around that rear screen is all good. Lotus club, so it must be known to the club as well, this car. All the seal down the bottom is nice and tidy. Around the engine compartment lid is all good. And nice and clean around those vents. Going down this side, again, the sill on this side is clean and tidy. There's nothing really to note on there. Same story with the door. A little bit of dust there, we'll ignore that. Door shuts are all nice and tidy. Nothing really to note. Rollover hoop, that's all good. As is the top of the screen and the rest of the screen on this side. A couple of minor stone chips on the wing mirror if I've been really picky. There's another very small one just here. In fact, that's dirt, ignore that. And then this front arch again. So they're not caked in gravel rash. It doesn't look like it's done any work on the track or anything like that. And then nice and tight on the front there. So we've got P6000 Pirellis all round. Again, another sign of good ownership. Fortunately with these early Elises, because of the age and at some point the value in them, they've been in sort of less than desirable ownership, whereas this one, same owner for a very long time, hasn't gone through that phase by the looks of things. Nice and clean on the headlight lenses on both sides. Normally they need a polish, but they're all good. And same goes for the indicators and the fogs. A couple of tiny stone chips here and there, and the odd slightly stubborn squash fly, but we'll get rid of those. And then there's a stone chip here that has been touched in, but you can just see it. And another one there. On the front air dam is all good. I even learned today that this is called a windscreen buttress if you Lotus. Anybody else would call it a bonnet. Apparently it's a windscreen buttress. And there's a tiny little stone chip just there as well. So bodywork wise, very presentable. You'd be more than happy to take it out to a show field, or just as happy blasting it down the B road. So that's exactly what you want from one of these. Got the interior, and again, because of the sort of construction of these cars, we've seen a few of these where these are kicked, scratched, horrible, especially with a white one like that. Whereas this one, as you can see, is very, very good. Door trim is nice, what there is of it. All the stainless fixings are good. Pop the engine cover and the buttress while we're in here. Sorry for the dodgy camera work. All nice and clean. On the seats, when we picked the car up, it's had covers on for a long time, so they are very good. It's Alcantara, so it always looks dirty on the camera, but if you get it close, you can see it is nice. And the footwells are all good. It does have the colour-coded steering wheel that is snap-off, so you just pull the two pins, that pops off. And those nice stack gauges, all good. Pop the key out while we're here so we can do the alarm in a second. Have a look under the front while we're there. Again, there's not a lot to see under here. It's sort of washer bottles and a few ancillaries, but it is nice and clean under there. Nothing nasty to see there that I can see. Moving around on the passenger side, same story. So the inside of the door, all good, as is that door shut. That's not had people clambering in and out. And then this seat, nice and tidy and clean. All good down the bottom there with your footrest and everything. And then engine bay. So you've got that 1.8 litre Lotus tuned K series engine. And you do have a little load space in here, which we did have some stuff in there, so I'll show you that. So we've got the soft top, which is in lovely condition. Again, we put that on yesterday when we picked the car up. He reckons he's put it on 4 or 5 times. It looks the case, nice and new. We've got the side pieces and the crossovers. We've got what we call a shower cap, so that's what you put on the roof. If you don't have any of this with you and you get caught in the rain, stick that on, that'll keep the car dry. And we've got a full cover as well. We'll get it started up. This one does have an immobilizer on. So blip it. We'll just, while that powers up, 35,827 miles on this one. Fires up on the button. Nice and smooth. There's not a lot of sort of rattly noises that you can sometimes get with these if they haven't been serviced. Here, there's no rattles there at all. They can be a bit tappy. Again, none of that. Nothing nasty coming out the exhausts. So there you have it. 2000 on a W, Type 49. Check the description, we'll detail everything we know as far as service history goes, things like that. If you've got any more questions at all, please get in touch. Thank you.